Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector, and today is Friday. The weekend is almost here, which means a crazy slate of NFL football games. I am so excited for the Cowboys 49ers on Sunday. The reality of it is, though, there's 14 teams going in and there's going to be 13 broken hearts. And so I guess it's hard to not be excited, and it's also hard to get your hopes up too much because, at least from a Cowboys fan perspective, not a whole lot of good stuff has happened over the last few decades. So I'm excited about the game. Let's see which team shows up, all that stuff. But it'll be fun. The Dallas Card Show is also this weekend. I'm going on Saturday to that. Ryan Nolan is going to be here, and he's actually going to be staying with me. We might do a live stream or something Saturday night or something, but he's coming. So that'll be a blast. I've met Ryan in person, but never like hung out with him extensively. So that'll be great. I'm excited to get to know him a little bit better. But the thought percolating in my brain, and I'm going to tug on this thread, and the title of this video is kind of the double life of a sports card collector. And what I mean by that is, and bear with me as I go through this, I haven't really thought this entire video out. I'm going to kind of run with a thought, and hopefully that leads to a progression of thoughts, but no promises that it makes any sense at all. But I was in a meeting. What started this was I was in a meeting with a ministry that I'm on the board for, and I was just sitting around looking at all these guys, and we all come from different backgrounds and different things, and I bet none of them have any idea how big the sports card hobby is in my life. And then I started thinking about my other friends kind of outside of the hobby, and these different groups that all of us have in our life. We have our family, right? You have maybe you like cycling, or you like going to the gym, or name your thing, right, that you might like and have as a hobby, and you'll have that group of people that you share that passion and you do that with. And then you'll have other groups of people that you work with. You have people at your church or synagogue or wherever you go to worship, all those things. Like, I've got these groups, right? And it's funny how little cross-pollination there is within those groups of your life. And most of my friends know that I collect cards, my close friends outside of the hobby. And they've seen the room, and it's funny when you bring a non-hobbyist over to any card room, anybody will tell you this. The first thing they want to know is, what's your most valuable thing? What's your most valuable card? And sorry about Norman barking in the background. But what's your most valuable thing? Which is kind of sad that that's all they think about, is the value part of it, not the cool factor of it. You bring people over that like the sport and are kind of in awe with, oh my gosh, this is kind of crazy. And then you bring the people over that just think you're absolutely crazy, that all they think is, this is nuts. You're some kind of crazy hoarder dude. And that's probably partly true, actually. So you have these different interactions with people, and Ryan's coming over this weekend. He's going to have a complete appreciation for everything in here. He's going to know it all and appreciate it all and respect it all and like love it all that kind of stuff. He'll know what stuff is. Oh man, that's a big card or whatever. Whereas your layman person has no idea what they're looking at, what it means, what its significance is, any of that stuff. And so we lead this double life. I'm a hobbyist in the hobby, and I feel like I know a lot of people in the hobby, and my pulse is on the hobby, and I spend a lot of time in the hobby, whether it's doing videos or reading stuff online or on blowout forums, or just in the hobby. That's where I spend a lot of time, honestly. I forgot I have a whole group of golf buddies that I just know from the golf course that I see all the time, and they have no idea what's here and how much and how big a part of my life this is. So it's interesting to think about that double life. It's not like I talk about it. It's not like, if I told them I had a YouTube channel, they would laugh and think it's funny, yeah, sure you do, kind of thing. or really you do that? Like that's a thing? Or sports cards are cool or what? I mean, don't 12-year-old boys collect sports cards? Yes, they do. And so do 48-year-old men. So there's just this fun idea of, I think about what everybody would think if they really knew how deep into it I am. And maybe you have that too. I think the only person who really knows, like really, and even she doesn't really know, but Julie, my wife, I mean, I talk to her about it all the time. She's probably so sick of talking about sports cards and going to this show or that show or meeting this guy or talking to that person or doing this video tonight or interviewing this person. She could probably care less, truth be told, but she's incredibly supportive and she definitely knows. I think what's also funny is if your other friends knew, probably for a lot of us, the proportionate amount of income that we spend on our hobby, whether it's buying cards, think about how much we spend on protecting our collections with pages and top loaders and perfect fit sleeves and you name it, right? I mean, they would probably go, you are bonkers crazy. And it's just so funny. I think everybody has a thing. Like if you like flying planes, and that's an expensive hobby, or riding motorcycles, or pick your thing, classic cars, art, whatever. None of those things are cheap, right? But I think unless you're in it, you can't really understand the amount of time investment and monetary investment that goes into it. And I think an outsider who doesn't have an interest in that would just, again, go, man, you could use that money so much better doing something else with it. But the great thing about it is we love it. And to share that passion with other people, which is one of the reasons why I started doing YouTube in the first place a long time ago, was to share that passion. I didn't have that group of people that I could go down the street and talk to about cards and communicate with. And the forums were very anonymous / very impersonal. They existed back then. I don't know if anybody remembers Freedom Cardboard and Blowout's still around. I think Freedom Cardboard's still around for that matter. But, I used to do that early on, like, oh, I've connected with some people, but the connections aren't the same as they are here. And this has completely expanded my group of people that I can talk with about cards to literally hundreds of people from almost zero before. So to think about this double life that we lead as collectors is kind of fascinating. And I would encourage you to kind of think about that in your own life. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm not even, saying it's negative. It's just the reality of it. It is this, I have this part of my life and I have other segments of my life where I am doing different things and focusing on different things. What I hope is true through all of that, a common thread with all of that, is that I'm the same kind of guy, that I'm pretty down to earth, pretty easygoing, hopefully pretty honest and all that. But nobody at my work knows that they might know I collect cards as a hobby or something, but I don't know that they know the seriousness of it. People at church I don't think get it the way that it really is. Not that I'm trying to be mysterious about it or hide anything. It's just, they just don't have any interest in it. So what's the point of talking about it? And so it's just this funny little world that we all live in this hobby together, that we all share this passion together. And if you're watching this video, then you in some way share that passion as well. So I'd love to hear stories down below of how you, if you've had any experiences with friends or whatever, seeing parts of your collection and what their reaction has been and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you can connect with this video at some level and appreciate kind of where I was going with this. And it's just interesting to think about the double life we lead. So that is it for today. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Go Cowboys. Keep collecting.